Welcome to TechbrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn how to create MySQL 8.0 instance with the read replica. And then once we have the read replica, we will promote that read replica as standalone instance. Here are some details I copied from this link. You can open this link and read more details. You use a read replica to offload work from a Cloud SQL instance. The read replica is an exact copy of primary instance. Data and other changes on the primary instance are updated in almost real time on the read replica. Read replicas are read-only. You cannot write to them. The read replica processes queries, read request, and analytic traffic, thus reducing the load on the primary instance. So this is best scenario when you need to create some reports and you do not want to have a lot of load on your primary instance. In that case, you will create the read replica and then use for the reporting purpose. There are some important notes here. We recommend that you limit the number of read replicas for your primary instance to 10 or fewer for the MySQL. Now, for the SQL Server instance, there were 8 replicas you can probably create. Now here another note, read replicas do not provide failover capability. So you cannot fail over your primary instance to the read replica. You can promote your read replica as standalone instance, but you cannot fail over between the primary instance and the read replica. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look, and we will see all those details in the real demo. Now first of all, you're gonna go to the cloud console.cloud.google.com, log in, and then you're going to go to the navigation bar menu. Once you click right there is a SQL, and then you are going to end up here. You have two options here. You can click right there, or you can click right here to create the instance. And here you have different versions of MySQL available. Choose MySQL 8.0, 5.7, and 5.6. Let's click to choose MySQL. Here I would like to provide the instance name. So I'm going to call it Tech Brothers MySQL Primary. Okay. And now you have the option to provide the password or don't provide the password for your root user. I'm going to provide the password. Next, you have database versions. You have 8.0, 5.7, 5.6. I'm going to go with the latest one. Then you have more options available. You want to do production or development. Here I'm going to choose the production because I'm going to just keep this for maybe another hour or so and delete my instance. In case you are just doing for demo, you can go with the development. And if you really need to use that in production, then don't go for development, keep it production. Here are some more details about production and development, so you can compare them. So availability high available, that's for production, so it is in a multi-zones setup. If you have development, it's going to be single zone. You have a vCPUs, memory, storage, and all other configuration right here. Point in time is recovery is enabled, and automatic backups are already enabled. So this is all the configuration you can see right there. Here you see that we are in the region called the US Central 1 Iowa. I'm gonna go ahead and do in South Carolina. I live in North Carolina. Just for feeling I'm doing South Carolina, but I don't have really application that's running in South Carolina data center. So I could have just lived in Iowa, but it's just a feeling for the demo. I'm gonna go with that. Now you have options here. You have zone availability. If you want to just in the single zone, you can select single zone. In case you select a single zone, it means in case that single zone goes down or outage happen, you don't have any way to really recover or have your SQL instance available right away. Now you can promote your primary replica as the standalone instance and then use that for your application and then start working from there. But I'm gonna go with the multi-zone. That means I have same region but two zones available. In case one of my SQL instance goes down in primary in one zone, then my standalone SQL instance that's available on this different zone that will be available for my applications. So this is a think about that. If for single zone you are going to pay money for one instance, for multi-zone you are going to pay money for two instances. Now we can have option to do our primary zone and secondary zone in our own choices. Let's say East US East 1B and then I'm going to go for East US 1C. That's where the zones are. So we are in the same region, two zones. If this goes down, then our instance right available here will become our primary. If then that's the beauty of this setting high availability. But again, you're aware of that you're paying for two machines almost here. Okay, now let's go further and take a look on different configuration. Now we have machine type here, and right now for vCPU 26 GB, I'm gonna go for custom and just select the 2 vCPU and 3.57 GB RAM. Let's go for storage, and I'm gonna select SSD. That's fine. And if you are really not caring about that latency and all that, you can go with HDD. That's fine. But I'm gonna go with only 10 GB right there. Now enable automatic storage instance. That's fine for me. I can it will increase from 10 GB if I create databases and all that, but I'm not gonna really create a lot of databases. But if you have production system, you might want to think about that enabling automatic storage increase, because if you are done with 10 GB, you don't want your instance to go down, and you want that storage to increase automatically. But in my case, I'm fine with the 10 GB, and I'm going to disable this one now. Now we go with the connections, and here you can set the private IP or public IP. I'm going to go with public IP and add my network. So I will add my IP so I can connect from my laptop. So I'm going to go and find out what is my IP from this website, and just copy this IP. That's IP of my machine. So I'm going to paste right there. Now I will hit done, and then I will be able to connect from my laptop to this instance. Data protection, let's take a look here what we have there. So you have automatic backups are set up here. You have enable point in time recovery, and if I click right there, you can see the details. So this is important. You need to have the enable point in time recovery here and enable logs. If you don't have this, then your read replicas are not going to be set up. So you have 7 days of logs available. So this logs in case when you do point in time recovery. The other high availability, that was for zones. So in one case, one zone go down, then you can go to the second zone. That's how the high availability work. But here you have this 7 days of log. So in case you need to recover between any time of last 7 days, so you can do that. Also, automatic backups are available if you want to take a look on that. So you can do multi-zone or single region. So here we can do location if you want to select some, let's say South Carolina. So you can have all those options there as well. Now if you go further here and go to the instance delete protection, if you want to enable this one, then it's not going to let anybody delete this till you don't unmark this one, uncheck this box. I'm gonna be fine with this. I don't care about this. Now you go to maintenance here, and then you have maintenance window. You can define maintenance window any specific day you can define, and order of update relative to the other instance in the region. If you are using this for production, you might want to set to the later, and if you are using for test purpose, maybe you can leave to the earlier. So the updates or all those patches will go earlier in the case of test, so you will know that what changes are going to go to your production later. That's fine. I can just leave this as it is because I'm just using for demo. Now deny maintenance period. If you are your application is online and you really don't want the maintenance to run and all that, you can always select the start date and end date here. Now we go further. Here we are all good here. Here's some flags if you want to set up for that. So if I will add some flag here, I have a lot of choices here. So in this case, you have auto increment, you have bin log, cache size, and tons of other flags available for you to set the values. Okay, let's leave this as it is for now. Okay, we are going to cancel this. You have an option to label, and I'm fine with that as well. So this is a summary of my instance that I'm creating as a primary instance, and point in time recovery is enabled, high availability is enabled, and we have backups and all that. So let's create this instance. From my previous experience, I have noticed this can take between 4 to 5 minutes and sometime even more than that. So I'm going to let this run, and once this complete, we come back, and we will go from there to how to create the read replica from the primary instance. So here our primary instance is creating, if you see right there, MySQL 8.0, and now if you want to see more details, you can see some of the values there, but there is not a whole lot as of now, because we are creating the instance as of now. Our primary instance is ready, and you can see right there. And now what we can do, we can take this IP and connect by using MySQL. So I'm gonna search for MySQL that I have installed on my laptop, and then we are gonna connect to our MySQL. Here we can create new session, and right there I'm going to say primary. Okay, delete that. Here we will provide the IP of it, and then we are going to provide the password. Okay, so yes, and now our instance is connected by using MySQL. So here you can see that we have 4 databases, and these are system databases. But we can create another database. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new query here, and then we'll say create database, and let's call it a test. Okay, now we are going to go ahead and execute our query, and our test database is ready, and you can see right there. Now I can use the test database and then create the table. So use and execute, and now we are all good here. And there is a query that I wrote in past demo or previous demo. We can paste there, create table, and then we can insert value here. So we can simply go ahead and create this table. So this has only ID one value right there. If I go back to my portal, and here if I go to the databases, so here we have 4 databases which are system databases, and there is a test database we just created in MySQL. So now, if you don't have MySQL, you can use Workbench, and then connect to the MySQL and create your objects there as well. So what we are going to do, we are going to click right here on the SQL tab, and then what we are going to do, we are going to see our instance ID here. So the type is MySQL, our IP is this one, and we have this all the availability, high availability enable, and then our location is the US East 1B. Now as of now you can see that this is our primary instance, right? And we have set up for high availability, and we can fail over to another zone if you want. So right now our zone is the this one, East US East 1B. If I want to fail over, then I will fail over my MySQL instance to the US East 1C. That's our second zone. But I don't really need to fail over and anything like that. But I would like to create the read replica. So I'm going to click right here on this tab, and then I will go onto the actions here, and here I will say create a read replica. So we go ahead and provide the name. So we can give the name. We can call it replica or TechbrothersIT read replica. So we will simply put to read. Okay, and here is going to be MySQL 8.0, and then region, you can define it here. You can do multi-zone for the read as well, or single zone. I'm gonna go with single zone, and South Carolina is just fine, but you have a lot of options there. You can do East, or you can do US, and all those kind of things wherever you want to create it. Depends where that instance will be used. Maybe you're creating reports maybe in the Asia region, and you have most users in Asia, so you will create it there. Otherwise I'm just fine with the US as well. Here I'm gonna go just read. Okay, so we are fine here, and next we don't have a whole lot of things to do here because there is no backups and all those kind of things. In the connection, you can see right, I'm going to use public IP. My network is already added because it took the value from the primary instance. You want to do some flag settings and all that, so there are very few information available here. Okay, now we're all good here. We can go ahead and create a read replica. So click on read replica, and it is saying the instance is in being creation or under process. So you can see right there. So we have creating a Tech Brothers read replica right now. So let it run for maybe 5 to 10, 6 minutes or something like that, and it's going to create the read replica, and then we will go from there. And you can see that right here, this is our primary instance, and under that primary instance, you can see that the read replica is showing, but it's still in process of creating, and it's called the MySQL read replica. So let's wait for it. Once this is created, this will become a check mark here and here as well. Our read replica is ready, and you can see right there. And now what we can do, whatever we write here, that's gonna be available on the read replica as well. So let's go ahead and first of all, what we are gonna do, we are gonna connect in MySQL to our read replica. Here is the IP for the read replica, and I'm gonna copy, and then I'm gonna go to MySQL again. Here I will go to the new session manager, and here I will add a new replica. We'll call it read only, and I'm gonna provide the password here, and then we should be connected. So yes, now you can see their database is also available, and here is our test database available. So if I will go ahead and insert some more values there, let's do that. Now if we insert 100 here, and then sorry, click right there, insert into table, and execute. Now if we will simply go ahead and write a new query here, select star from this table TBL, and this is from our primary replica. You can see right there, this is from the primary replica. Now this has 1 and 100 value, and if I can copy from here and go to our read replica and open a new query, it should have the same values. So you see 1 and 100, these are the two values right there as well. So whatever you're gonna write is gonna be also available in the read-only replicas. So let's go here, and now we saw that we can add more replicas if you want. That's pretty easy. So you will go to the main folder here, and then you will go right here and add more read replicas. You can keep adding to the different regions and wherever your applications are. So here in this case, the very first one, we remember that we have created in the same zone, so that's why it is in the East US 1B. Now if I don't want to keep this as a read replica, and I want this to be as promoted as standalone, I can do that as well. So to perform that, what you have to do, you have to click right here on the read replica, and then you're gonna see promote replica. So once you do that, it will not be part of our primary replica at all. It will become a standalone replica. Let's do that. So promote to replica, and then we have to provide the name here. I'm gonna go ahead and paste it there, and then promote. It's gonna take 4 or 5 minutes, and then it will be promoted as a standalone replica. Finally, we can see that our read replica is promoted as standalone instance, and now you can see that they're not showing any read replica or all that. Now anything you will make changes here to this instance, they will not be replicated anywhere. So these are totally independent replicas. So this was primary, and now this was read only, but now you can write to it as well. So let's go back and write some records, and here we have this. Remember that this was our read only, and if we go ahead and select the data, and there was 2 records. Now what I can do here, I can insert some values there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 1000 and bring it here, and just go to this read only, and here I will insert the data, and it's gonna insert, and you can see right there. So this is a totally independent MySQL instance now, and you can perform whatever the actions you need to perform, read, write, create databases, and everything can be done on this MySQL instance. The other instance that was primary, that will behave simply as it is, because it was already read and write and all that. So no big deal. You can insert the records there, anything what you want to do. you can simply insert there as well. You can see there are 3 records there. We just inserted the third record. So this is how you will promote your read-only data to the standalone instance. And also you learn how to create the read replicas in MySQL and GCP. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe my channel, and I will see you guys in next video.